not everyone. Yeah.
Stop with the Port of Charlotte, man.
You gotta go in head first, man.
Go head
it's called
first.
dumpster diving for a reason. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Welcome to Lakewood Ranch. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Guess what, everybody? Florida is getting its first Tim Hortons. Welcome to Lakewood Ranch, everybody. We are gonna have the first Tim Hortons in Florida right here in Lakewood Ranch. They're currently building it off of Highway 64, but pretty soon Lakewood Ranch will have the first one. Yeah, buddy. There's a lot of great stuff coming into Lakewood Ranch. I'm glad we're staying here for another year. Among other things, we're also getting a Panera off the 64 exit here in Lakewood Ranch. I gotta lie, I'm really excited about all the things coming into our community. I just want to say thanks to all the hardworking illegal people who've built Lakewood Ranch so we can have all these nice things like Paneras and Tim Hortons and all the other things they're building for us right now. Great things coming to Lakewood Ranch. Exciting times. This lot facing 64 just got cleared. We don't know what's going in here yet. There were some homeless camps here, so they got to clear that out of the way. Alright guys, so we're in Bradenton, Florida, and we're really just trying to figure out what we're going to do today. Alright guys, so right now we're in Bradenton, and Katie and I are trying to decide what video we're going to go with. Katie wants to go to Pasco County, and I just want to do a video along the beaches and coastline here. So we're kind of at odds with each other, trying to figure out what today's video is going to be about.
And Katie's gonna win.
We both wanted to go to Tampa today, but we've kind of beat that dead horse, and we kind of need a story to follow in Tampa. We don't really have any stories in Tampa right now to follow.
Should do Pasco or cover that story in Citrus?
All right, guys, before we cross the Skyway Bridge, it's the small town of Palmetto. And here in Palmetto, they have this really interesting corner store mural. We have to go through one of the most iconic places in Florida, the scary Skyway Bridge. No matter how many times you go on this bridge, it doesn't stop being scary and intimidating. And it's just one long, heavy ride up this bridge. Definitely an impressive structure. Wow, what a view. Ahead of us is St. Petersburg, Florida. What a view from up here. Just amazing. So Pasco County it is, guys. Katie has won today's argument, and she said we're going to Pasco. All right, guys, we're passing St. Petersburg, Florida. Siri, OJ the Juice Man on YouTube Music.
Here's OJ the Juice Man on YouTube Music. Sorry, there was a problem with YouTube Music.
Stop that, Siri. Dang it, there's nothing wrong with YouTube Music. Hey Siri, OJ the Juice Man on YouTube Music.
Now playing OJ the Juice Man on YouTube Music.
Looks like we're the only people that live in Florida right now. Everybody left back to New York. Look at this. Where are the people? Imagine a bank going out of business. How is that even possible? Welcome to Clearwater, Florida. Do you know how hard it is for a bank to have to close its doors? I don't know if you guys know this, but a bank's not supposed to go out of business. That's not the way banking works. They had to put up a sign that says no dogs on property, and that's because there's homeless people here, and the homeless people have dogs. I would assume they've had problems with homeless people at this property already. Alright guys, so while we're up here in the Clearwater area, we're gonna get something to eat. There's a Venezuelan restaurant. Let's try this out. These are guava and cheese pastries called tequeños. This is a Venezuelan arepa. A little bit different than somewhat different than a Colombian arepa. Alright guys, so we got a chicken breast here with some beans. Today is a Saturday and we're literally the only people inside this restaurant. Just like in many places in Florida, a lot of new construction was built for lease and they weren't able to find people to sign those contracts. Here in Tarpon Springs, this is just outside of Pasco County, it's actually in Pinellas County, these new buildings that are sitting here were recently built and very few of these actually have tenants. Most of them are sitting vacant. It's called the Big 19 Business Center, but only a few of these have got filled in. And go figure, we were the only customers at that restaurant we ate at down the road. Walking down the side of US 19, what do I find? A needle cap. And here's another needle cap. It's crazy, they're just walking along this bridge here, and everywhere you look, there's needles, syringes, needle caps. You can see that there's an entrance to a homeless camp here. I guess they crawl up through there. I'm not going to be doing this, but you can see there's a suitcase over there and all this stuff here. So the homeless people just crawl back in there and sleep up there. So heading north on US 19 here in Pinellas County, there's this construction site. It looks like they're going to be apartments. I'm not going to say who, but I've actually interviewed people here because this used to be a homeless camp. So what today is a construction site for new apartments, not that long ago was a homeless camp. All this here was giant homeless camps, but they're gone now. Do people in other parts of the country see this? Just about every single construction site in Florida has cameras. But hey, if particle board is your thing, there's plenty of it here. I mean, he was already homeless, but that's where his home was, and well, it's gone now. Welcome to Pasco! Yeah, buddy! Woo! We made it! Finally, we made it to Pasco County! Is there anywhere else you'd want to be right now other than here? Yes. This is the real Florida. Pasco! Yeah, buddy! Pasco County, Florida. Let's get in there and see what's going on. This is a place of opportunity, prosperity. I guess the Cuban tire shops found Pasco County. We have like 50 of them in Bradenton. I'm not sure why there's so many Cuban tire shops in Florida, but well, they found Pasco too. Lots of good businesses here. I guess there's Puerto Ricans up here now too. Pasco County's changed quite a bit over the years. But one thing will never change in Pasco County: the Pasco-ness of it. This used to be a Bob Evans, but now it's a Puerto Rican restaurant. Just randomly above here. A place of prosperity. The only reason that homeless guy is able to sleep there is because it's a Hispanic restaurant. If that was an American restaurant like a Bob Evans, they'd have had him arrested a long time ago for sleeping there. One thing I absolutely love about Pasco County is how colorful the business fronts are here. It's like every business front here is special. There's just something special about Pasco County. I don't know what it is. This business front here reminds me of Palm Beach Boulevard in Fort Myers, except for instead of undocumented people, it's well, it's Americans suffering here, but it's the same thing. It's a business front. I think it's actually the same exact design, baby. Look, pay attention. Look, it's the bricks on the bottom. This is built exactly like the one in Palm Beach Boulevard. Look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Identical. And even the misery here is identical. I just realized that this is like the same exact design as the one in Fort Myers. No need to elaborate. You might understand just about what I'm saying, what I meant to say.
Latin Japan. Awesome.
Yes, Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans are huge on, it's gonna be like Puerto Rican probably. Puerto Ricans and Peruvians are huge on Japanese food. Is it me? Is it me, or is this turning into Fort Myers up here? Yeah, this is kind of like a Fort Myers these days. What a dumpster diving right there. Is there any reason why people should have to do this in the United States of America? But maybe something that somebody in need can have. This is supposed to be the greatest country in the world. 91 degrees, and you got people literally foraging inside of a garbage can. And the wrong cop drives through here and catches that man in that dumpster, and he'll get arrested for trespassing and petty theft. Okay, that's the irony of the United States is not only is that person, you know, in a messed up situation, but on top of that, he can get arrested for doing that. That homeless guy will get arrested for larceny, and he'll get arrested for trespassing. That's the irony of the United States, on top of the fact that his country, you know, maybe it's somebody with a mental illness, and everybody, well, they're probably on drugs. So what if they are? So what if, aren't half of people in this country like that either way? Pasco County just can't keep their hands off the pharmacy goods. They got metal bars on the windows and plywood. During the last hurricanes we had, a lot of people here along the coast had storm surge flooding, and sadly, a lot of those people lost everything. All these businesses closed. What the crap? The scenery here in Pasco County really is heartbreaking. A lot of the businesses that were open last time we were here are closed today. All these businesses were open and now they're closed. So sad. Oh, that scared the crap out of me.
It popped out of the dumpster.
Oh yeah. Let's back
See what
up.
it's gonna do now.
Yeah. Hey, dude, you know you can get arrested for dumpster diving? Like, this thing jumped out of the dumpster when he pulled up. It was terrifying.
Let's see what it does now.
He's gonna get back in there. He's gonna go back. He's gonna get back to business.
No.
He will. He's gonna get back in there. Dude, this thing like launched out of the dumpster when we drove by. I thought it was a person. It just like launched out, all hands out.
Let's see what it does.
Get back in there, dude. He's trying to play it off like it wasn't him. He's gonna go for it. He's so fat he can't get up. He's so fat he can't get up. He's like so fat he like can't get in there. He's like, man, I've eaten too much.
I got in.
What's he got? He's got a little blue thing over here. I think he's like on Fent or something.
Oh my gosh.
He's like too fat to climb up.
It
Look,
wouldn't
watch.
surprise me.
He's too fat to climb in there. Like he's trying. He's too fat to climb. He's
You got
fat.
it. You got it.
You got it. Watch. Let's get him now. Wanna try scaring him again?
Yeah, let's see what he does. See what it. Oh, he did it again.
He's not sure what to do now. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Let's go for it.
He knows we're like watching him.
He went for it.
He's in there now.
He's in there.
He's gonna stick his hand and look back at us.
Yeah.
Let's go real slow. We'll stop moving if he
Yeah.
let's see if he sticks his head out. He's like, I'm watching y'all. He's like,
He's eating.
is he found it yet? Oh.
No.
He knows we're coming at him, but he's like, I'm getting this.
He's like, I'm getting it.
Oh. He's like not gonna jump out this time. He's thinking about it. He's like,
I'm thinking about it. Oh, I gotta go back in.
He's still fighting balls out.
No, he's done. He's
done now for real. He's gonna like look. He's gonna look around the corner, see if he sees us. Coming. There he is.
He's done. He's done. He's out.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And a big hug to everybody in Pasco County. This has to be one of the places that supports our YouTube channel the most.
I like coming to Pasco County. It's never a boring experience.
It never, yeah, I agree. It never is. I can never say I've had a boring town in Pasco. This is definitely gang related right here. Wild work, man. In fact, because of our success with viewership here in Pasco County, we actually looked at moving here. We looked at 2 different places here in Pasco County. One was by Wesley Chapel and the other by Trinity. The one in Trinity was about $1,500, but we found a place in Lakewood Ranch for $1,740. But I guess another road to turn to Wesley Chapel was the traffic in that area. Now, the demographics of Pasco have changed. There's a lot more Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Haitians here than there were in the past. Now there are a lot more Hispanics here than there were 3 years ago.
I seen that.
Free Cuba. Here's yet another Cuban tire shop. I really don't understand what the craze is with Cuban tire shops. Now, I don't know how much accuracy there is to this statement, but I've heard that somebody with money is literally just buying houses if the owners are Cuban. And again, I don't know how accurate this statement is, but I've been hearing that they're literally just trying to force all the Cubans out of Miami. All these areas like in Central Florida that hadn't had a lot of immigrants yet, a lot of foreign nationals, are starting to have a lot more. You see a house for lease here or there, but it's nothing like in other parts of Florida. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of for rent signs and there are a lot of for sale signs, but at least on the residential end, look at all that.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Trouble Creek Road, then turn right onto US 19 North.
We ate at this restaurant. That wasn't too bad. Remember we ate there?
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I remember. It was all right. Look, a hiring sign. You don't see a lot of hiring signs anymore in Florida. I saw one earlier today. Where was it? We saw one earlier today. Is it me or are there a lot of failed banks up this way right now? It's like every bank is closed up this way. So here in Pasco County, guys, it doesn't look like there's that real estate crisis like you have in other parts of Florida. But while the real estate end doesn't look too bad here, I mean, it's not in good condition, but it's not like Fort Myers or Port Charlotte or something, right? What is bad here is the commercial real estate. So that's the situation here. The real estate side, housing's not too bad. Not every real estate market in Florida is the same. For example, they can't overbuild houses here because they didn't build any. They can't jack up prices on apartments because they didn't build anything here. Like this area, it's grown at a healthy rate. As the locals need things, they go in. Now there's parts of Pasco County that have had a lot of growth. That's over by the interstate, by Wesley Chapel, close to Tampa. So the county as a whole has seen a lot of growth, but it hasn't been happening here. And, you know, that growth in the outskirts of Tampa, it's suburban people who have jobs. And now one thing that I have noticed about Pasco County, it's a little concerning, is that it seems like almost every single bank has been closing here. Now these buildings are old, and perhaps banks don't want their names associated with rundown and decrepit areas. I'm really not sure what it all entitles. Well, it's like really bizarre. Why would banks be closing? I mean, how do banks make money? Or do banks just not want their names associated with areas that are going to crap? I'm not sure. I'll let you guys in the comment section give me your opinion on that. I'm not going to give an opinion on something if I don't understand it. Guys, so allegedly back in this area is one of the largest homeless camps still left in Florida. All right, everybody, so we're about to go into one of the most dangerous homeless camps in Florida. As you guys know, the state of Florida has been kind of pushing people out of homeless camps to the point where there are very few left. This particular homeless camp is in a swamp. You can see there's mangroves here. Look at the color of that water. I thought there were more camps than this. I'm not sure if I'm at the right spot. All right, so hello. I'm gonna walk through here. There should be another trail coming through. I think they might have ran everybody out of this camp already. This is the first one. It might just be a dummy camp in the front and then more stuff in the back. We'll see. But I thought they ran everybody up out of here. A lot of times these spots are booby trapped too, so we gotta watch out for that because we could easily get hurt. But basically all these camps are just basically in the mangroves. I mean, look at all this garbage, how it just pushes back into the mangroves. And you can tell the color of the water, it's a mess. You can see there's a little trail going this way. So there's more in the back. I'm gonna guess if there's people here, they're gonna be really deep in the back. So we're gonna go deeper into this stuff. There's a little bridge here. I've been on these bridges before. This isn't my first time on a mangrove bridge before. I think I did a few of these in the Florida Keys. All right, so you might think that here in Florida, most of these mangroves are just gonna be mangroves, but back in the day, the Native Americans, they used to make these shell mounds. So like you can see there's a mound right here and somebody's been sleeping back here. So every other, I don't know, when they dredged the canals, they made these mounds, and also the Native Americans. So this is kind of a typical Florida homeless camp in the mangroves. Obviously the mosquitoes back here are unbearable. The people that live in these camps, this is just unbearable. As the state of Florida cracks down on the homeless, they're forced into places like this more often. And what happens now is that the homeless are going deeper and deeper in the mangroves, and these are supposed to be protected wildlife areas and estuaries, and they're being completely destroyed by the homeless. But the state of Florida has become tyrannical against the homeless, and it's forced the homeless deeper and deeper into the woods, to where now the homeless in Florida are practically living in mangroves like this. And these are very environmentally sensitive places. And really, the only person you can really blame for the homeless going into situations like these is the fact that law enforcement has just become so tyrannical on the homeless that it's forced them to end up in places like this. And unfortunately, this is what many of the mangroves and protected areas in Florida look like today. And while there isn't anybody back here right now, at any moment somebody could come back here, and there's no telling what state they could be in, and being here is really dangerous. Can't emphasize enough to you guys how dangerous it is to be back here. After all, while these people don't own this land, they feel like they own it. So anybody coming back here, you know, they might think you're stealing stuff. So now the state of Florida had thousands of camps like this in just about every single county. Now there's less and less of it because the state wants to hide the image But nonetheless, these places do exist. And the ones like this that are kind of in the front, people have been abandoning these sites, and you have to go really deep into the woods to find where people are hiding now. Now, the neighborhood where all this is at looks like a really dangerous and crappy area, so let's explore it. Now, this neighborhood here in Pasco County, it's rough. On the way here, there actually were a lot of abandoned houses, and people here just leave garbage on the side of the road like this. Obviously, we're not going to have time to explore every single homeless camp in this area, but you can see that this is a natural area. There's birds, there's fish, and all these animals have to deal with the contamination of these homeless camps. So the sad thing is that these waterways are supposed to be places for nature. All these areas are supposed to be pristine natural habitats for animals and wildlife, and even for humans, you know. Fishing is a huge thing. There's the scallops up here, there's snapper. All of these human fisheries depend on these waterways, and all of it is being jeopardized by the condition that's aggravated by the state of Florida's in response. Coming through. Anybody back here? Just coming through. The recent homeless laws in Florida have pushed people further and further into the mangroves, to where now it's actually a threat to the environment that these places exist. Like here's a little spot right here. You can tell people have just been laying up back here. And the really sad thing is about these places is that this is literally within the tide line. If we get an extreme high tide, all this garbage gets flushed out into the ocean. The state of Florida's irresponsible attitude towards the homeless has pushed people deeper and deeper into environmentally sensitive areas, where now all of this contamination is literally at the footsteps of the ecosystem. And it's nothing but grass, just trails and trails through the grass. Coming through. Anybody here? Coming through. And this has been happening all over Florida since the new homeless laws came in. It's forcing the homeless people deeper and deeper into the environment, and the destruction that these homeless laws have caused to the environment in Florida is incredible. I mean, you're talking about thousands of homeless people have been forced to live in places like this. They used to be in commercial lots off of US 19. And now they're living in the mangroves. And this is really bad for the environment. I mean, these waterways. Just think about the thousands of homeless people that live in Florida, and how many of those homeless people are now forced to hide deeper and deeper into the woods to try to be out of the reach of cops with all the new homeless laws that have came into the state. And now places like this exist. This is an absolute landfill back here. And the sad thing is that, if we get a good hurricane, or if we get a good storm surge, all of this is going to end up in the Gulf of Mexico, in the waterways where we fish, where we swim, where we get our shrimp from. Anybody ever eat Florida shrimp? This is where it comes from. This is terrifying, actually, to be back here. I don't know if there's people back here or not. They could be armed. They could be under the influence. There's no telling. These trails of garbage are literally on the edge of mangroves. Next time we get a storm surge, all this garbage that you see here is going to get flushed into the Gulf of Mexico. Acres and acres of garbage. I really can't begin to tell you guys the smell that's coming off of this place. It's beyond explanation. The things that are back here, the amount of water and mold and containers that are holding water. This is a rough place back here. And the saddest thing about this situation is that law enforcement and people in society, the first thing they say, well, these people are all users, so it's okay if we treat them like this. Most of these people have mental health problems. It was somebody's son, somebody's daughter, and the state of Florida has done nothing to help these people. There's a few agencies where there's a few people that are doing the right thing and helping these people get help. Not every county is the same. I know that in Manatee County, they have a better reputation now with helping the homeless, but some of these counties have a horrible reputation in Florida. And these places go for acres and acres in all directions, and somewhere back here there are people. And if you keep going and going, eventually you're gonna end up, see, if you look down that trail down that way, there's more garbage down that way. There's people back in there probably going that way. There should be somebody back there. It's a tunnel. The most overwhelming thing about this place is the smell that's coming off of all this garbage. Obviously there's needles back in here. There's it doesn't take long to find needles. Right here you can see you find a needle cap right here. Instantly, it didn't take long to find it. If you're looking for them, they're everywhere. Yes, these people consume a lot, but they also have mental problems. They also have disabilities. So is it fair to say just because they consume or they have an addiction that now all of a sudden, because they're dealing with that problem, we have the right to, as a society, not take care of people who are disabled? I'm not sure. I feel like the United States has really failed its people. Now, the crazy thing is that I literally do not even remember where I came in through, because I found this place walking through the brush. Don't know how I'm gonna find my way out of here, but we're gonna keep pushing through this stuff as far as I can. And obviously you can get lost for days in some of this debris. Many times these places get abandoned when something very horrible happens. It's been my experience here in Florida that usually when a camp gets abandoned, it's because something very horrible happened, and the homeless people that were here never returned because they're afraid of being inculcated with something. But the trails keep going and going. You can see the trail goes that way. But we are going to find our way out of these camps. We don't want to be back here too long. I feel like, from my experience, I've interviewed hundreds of these people. And they've told me stuff they probably wouldn't tell the cops about their lives. Law enforcement, those law enforcement agencies who work with the homeless, they are very familiar with these people. They know their stories, they know their criminal records, they know their addictions. They get to see up close these people's lives. Law enforcement officers in these counties get to see the human misery that people have to live in. The human misery that exists in these places. And the things that are back here, the things that you find in these homeless camps are bizarre. You really do find some crazy. In these homeless camps, you really do find some crazy and bizarre things in the woods. It's just, the stuff that's back here, a lot of people dumpster dive, and frankly, you find some pretty cool crap. Walking through here, the most overwhelming thing that you see is paraphernalia. I'm not one to say that this doesn't exist. From my personal understanding, I believe that about 95% of homeless people in Florida are consumers. And that's a horrible figure. I think at least 95% of the homeless people consume. It's only about 1 in 20 that's not a consumer. Now with that figure, there's also something else though. Probably 70% of them have mental illness. So now, do we get to say, well, because they consume, we shouldn't care about these people? Or do we recognize that they have mental illness and they should be disabled? Many people are disabled and they're not able to get a disability from the government. Sometimes the government says you make too much money. Sometimes the government says, whatever reason, you can't get a disability. Some people are so mentally disabled that they don't even know how to go about getting a disability. And well, those are the people that have mental illness. Their families abandon them. Other individuals have had childhood trauma, difficult situations since they were little, and nobody seems to care. When you become homeless, you are no longer a human. When you become homeless, the cops don't care if you have a mental illness. In some places they do and they offer you help, but for the most part, if you become homeless, you become a nobody. You become forgotten by society, and you are literally arrestable in the state of Florida at any instance for any reason. I thought it was a rattlesnake. It scared the crap out of me. I just heard something go shh. This is the reality of people in Florida. And it is true that back in there, probably 90% of people in that spot are consumers. But 70% of them have childhood trauma. 70% of them need therapy, but have never had it in their lifetimes. 70% of them are really technically disabled for mental problems. But while they're technically disabled, the state, the government, doesn't care to give them the assistance they need, and they don't receive it. That's the reality of homelessness in Florida. The places back in the woods that we tend to pretend don't exist. You think somebody called the cops on us? Wouldn't doubt it, huh?
Wouldn't doubt.
You really need that in front of your house? Now the coastline of Pasco County, it is sad. The damage that the hurricanes inflicted on this area are still visible to this day. These people had to gut their entire homes and they're still empty. The situation here is some of the worst I've seen anywhere. These are poor elderly people who literally lost everything and were not able to rebuild. This neighborhood here looks post-apocalyptic. This is all just one street here. What's going on in this neighborhood here is one of the most heartbreaking situations I've seen anywhere in Florida. For many people, the hurricanes were a year ago, but for these people here, guys, I know it's really windy, but let's take a walk down this neighborhood. Literally every single house here was flooded, and it seems that only a small percentage of people have rebuilt their homes. This is an entire neighborhood where about 80% of houses are vacant. Did you know that there's neighborhoods in Florida right now where about 80% of houses are vacant, where everybody left? This is the sad reality of Florida right now. How long ago were these hurricanes? But look at the situation of these neighborhoods. I've been making videos warning people about moving to Florida, and unfortunately for these people here, they thought that Pasco County was an affordable place they could move to. So guys, while the hurricanes were so long ago, for the people that live in these communities, they're still under a dark cloud. Alright guys, so I think we're about to be inside of a tornado. So it's starting to rain. I'm trying to focus on my video, but I'm really distracted by the fact that I think we're about to get sucked up into a tornado. Guys, I've seen a lot of hurricane aftermaths in a lot of different places, but I think this is the first time where I see a hurricane aftermath where the community seems completely incapable of rebuilding afterwards. Seems like very few, if any, people have actually rebuilt in this neighborhood. I think we're gonna die in this tornado. That's a tornado right there. You see it? You see the tornado? All right, guys, I think we're gonna be inside of a tornado soon. I don't know if it's really gonna be a tornado. It might just be some rain. I was really, oh, that water is cold. That is the coldest rainwater I've ever. Okay, get me. Hey, come get me. Come get me. That's like the coldest water I've ever felt. It's freezing. It's cold. It's like freezing. It's like ice water. I'm in.
Litigation.
Yeah. How many people have not? You can take the blinkers off.
How much litigation is? How much
so
is
sad, man.
How much is being spent in court fees right now?
I gotta say that the situation in this Pasco County neighborhood is heartbreaking. It's really like Katie saying, like the insurance companies are the reason why all these people are still like this. I mean,
so the only people that are able to do anything in Florida are lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe how bad this neighborhood back here is. This is sad.
And
It's
the courts
really,
are getting richer.
Yeah. The lawyers and the insurance companies at the expense of all these people losing everything. Everywhere you go in Florida right now has a different problem. It isn't like one uniform problem for everywhere in Florida. Here in this county, addiction continues to be rampant. Homelessness is rampant. Public services are definitely lacking. It's obvious by the condition of the community. You know, people don't really realize it, but Pasco County, it's a Camden, New Jersey. It's a Compton, California. But many times people don't realize the severity of the situation here. Move up about a foot. The reality in Florida is that people have even started collecting scrap metal again. You guys remember that? That's a thing now.
Going on.
It is. It's just like, that thing's dangerous, bro.
Nice. Do you?
Yeah.
I just stand on the trailer to get the hitch to lock.
Like, look, this used to be a bank. It's like a homeless camp now. There's like people sleeping in the front yard of the bank. There's 2 abandoned banks here, and both of them are now homeless camps. So here are 2 banks right next to each other. That was like fencing out right there. So this is one of the many banks that exist here in Pasco County that are now closed, and it's now a homeless camp. There's several people kind of laying up in there. Let's see if I can get this on video. There's several people in there, and there's another bank abandoned right next to it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people there. You know, if you got your family living in one of these crappy places like this in Florida, and you think it's not going to affect your family, you might be completely ignorant. If you're trying to raise your kids in this community, in this environment, people are out here trying to raise their families in these areas. These neighborhoods here in Pasco County are a septic tank. Let me tell you that right now. And the craziest thing is watching people, you know, just kind of raise their families in this environment as if this wasn't going to eventually, I don't know. You know, at the start of the video, I think I said that the situation in Pasco County isn't as bad as other places, but it's bad in its own different way. Here in Pasco County, addiction's out of control. Homelessness is out of control. And sadly, a lot of people are raising their families in these communities, in these environments, and they somehow think that the environment in which they're raising their families isn't going to affect. Not everybody can afford to live in Wesley, Shopper, or Lakewood Ranch. But if you're able to, if you were able to put your family somewhere just a little bit better, the price difference ain't much. What you're paying, you might be paying $1,500 for rent here. It might just be $200 or $300 more a month. Take a look at this abandoned gas station here. For sale by owner. So it's at a busy intersection. But look at the environment, guys, of this place. I'm telling you, if you live in this area and you're trying to raise your family like if this was normal, it ain't. Now, if this is all you can afford and you don't have any more money, and okay, then that's what you're able to do, then that's fine. I mean, you got to live within your means. But a lot of people are out here acting like this is a normal place to live. Like this isn't a Compton. Like this isn't a Oakland, California. Like this isn't a Portland, Oregon. Like this isn't a Seattle, Washington. It is. And actually, in a lot of ways, it's a lot worse. In a lot of ways, it's a lot worse. You're just not aware of it. But just because you're not aware of it doesn't change the reality. But to the people of Pasco County, no, dude, like this is not what a community should look like. A lot of people have just become desensitized to living in these conditions, and to them this is normal, and it's not. And to all you people, look, here's a needle right here. Think wisely about where you're going to raise your family and in what environment. This is the reality of the state of Florida. Communities like this exist here, but it doesn't get the same notoriety as Compton, California. It doesn't get the same notoriety of Seattle, Washington. But let me tell you, if you look at analytics, real numbers, you'll realize very quickly that the situation in Florida isn't a pretty one.